The European Commission here today released its quarterly economic reports, and it was full with information that frankly we expected. They had some minor revisions downwards on economic growth for the eurozone, more significant revisions downwards on inflation expectations, which has got to get the ECB nervous because they've been trying for months now to spark inflation in the eurozone. But to be honest with you, for those of us who follow this closely, it's much more important these May results for what comes in a couple weeks, which is the annual review of every eurozone budget, what to do and how much more austerity they must impose in order to meet budget targets. There are three countries that are really in focus right now. France is potentially the country in the most trouble because it has not been under the 3% of GDP deficit ceiling for literally the last decade, and they have promised to get it under 3% next year. The French finance minister has said repeatedly it will do it, but the forecast thus far has it at 3.2% next year, which means going into an election year, the French government may have to cut a significant amount of its budget and go to new more austerity measures, something that Paris doesn't want to do. Spain is also wildly off track. We had no Spanish government for the last 4 months, and we have here now a deficit projected for this year at 3.9%. Again, this year was the year that Spain was supposed to get under 3%. Last projections 3 months ago had them at 3.6%, so this is actually an increase. The Commission is actually thinking Spain is doing worse than it was 3 months ago at 3.9%. That means any new Spanish government that comes in is going to have to cut a lot or else get a waiver from the European Commission, which Spain has got twice in the last 4 years. Portugal is the only country that really gets some good news out of this report. Literally just a month ago, Portugal submitted its budget, the new government, and it was promising no austerity to its new electorate. And the Commission said, wait a second, you are now projected to be over 3%. You're a country that's out of a bailout, so you could be at risk of getting into real trouble again. But through a series of forced cuts from Brussels, they're now at 2.7% for this year. That's the projection. So again, good news for Portugal that what they did actually is getting them below the 3% level. I'm Peter Spiegel for the Financial Times here in Brussels.